What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're back in fabulous Angel Fire, New Mexico at our cabin for the thrice time. And look at these fall colors. Wow! So this was a 4-day trip where we spent our time polishing up a little bit of the antiquities. That way we can get it ready for our listing. Like this boot warmer and this mat on the bottom to catch any drippings or snow whenever people put their snowboards or skis up. This shoe mount for your shoes. There was nowhere to put our ping pong paddles and balls, so we went and put this little rack up. That way we can store them. We really need to get more balls. We already lost one. Now this is not the world's smallest TV. This is just another TV that we got for the kids' room. It is on a swivel mount. The wires are kind of ugly, but they serve a purpose. They wire. We'll get these covered next time we're here. And the biggest thing was the organization in this closet. Aubrey did an amazing job cleaning out this closet, removing all the stuff that didn't need to be in here anymore, and then packing everything individually. We have all of our make-ready stuff right here, so if we need to top off soaps, put some cookies out, or even top off some toilet paper and stuff, it's all right there on these shelves. Additional stuff up top. Can't forget all the spare towels and all these linens organized by bed size. So we have them for the main master, we have them for the queen and twin, all with triplets of all the sheets and covers. We hired a cleaning company and they gave us a list of all the things we needed to get, so this is what we got. Now this is the downstairs guest closet. We didn't want to be stingy, so we did leave out some extra towels and TP if need be. We have a very sad puppy upstairs. And let's show you the upstairs closet. We brought the toolkit that we got back home, so that way anyone that needs tools, they'll have them readily available. We also have some things like dog bowls, a spare lantern, some doggy bags, even a baby seat for babies. We got our coffee station more organized, that way they can go ahead and grab anything from tea, spare coffee packets right here, sweeteners and creamers, and even K-cups. And probably the biggest thing is that our picnic table got stained. Now at first glance you might say, oh, this is blue, and you'd be wrong. This is actually periwinkle, so get it right. And we set up our grill. Now Aubrey and I are heading out in about like 15 minutes to go back home. But we have some exciting updates since we last spoke to you guys about this property. First, we did hire a cleaning company. They're a company that specializes in Airbnb turnovers, so they're gonna be a great fit. So they're coming in 2 days to clean and prep the house, and then 2 days after that, we hired a professional photographer to take professional Airbnb photos. So let's fast forward in a few days to see what these photos look like. Now that we got all the house set up and Airbnb ready, let's go ahead and show you how we set up the back end. Which is not my job, because the only back end I worry about is my caboose, you know what I'm saying?
So as of October roughly 25th, the house was live on Vrbo or VRBO and Airbnb, and then we're still working through Booking.com. For some reason, Booking.com is having an issue with my email verification, but that should be live within probably the next day or so, so maybe by like November 2nd or November 3rd. But the property is live. Everything is set up with Airbnb and Vrbo. We have like a welcome guidebook that I set up, and I just want to take a moment to kind of break down the steps that we took, how the Airbnb is set up, and ultimately why we ended up doing just self-management instead of hiring a management company. Because in the last week, I actually posted a video breaking down this Airbnb purchase on my main channel, and it seems as though the decision to do self-management is a bit of a contentious one, and we had multiple people who commented, and even people who messaged me privately, saying that it was a mistake to self-manage the property. So first is posting on Airbnb and Vrbo. So whenever it comes to these 3 platforms, if we include Booking.com, which should be live soon, we are linking all of these platforms together with AirDNA and also Price Labs. Now AirDNA I'm not so much using now, but I used it actually a lot whenever I was doing the due diligence of this property. And what AirDNA does is it allows for you to kind of have a back-end look, or a like estimated back-end look of the properties in the area. And by using AirDNA, I was able to see which other houses in our area are performing very well and which ones aren't performing well. This was super helpful whenever it came to things like writing descriptions, looking for the house in the first place, and I even used AirDNA to try to figure out like what types of photos I should put in the listing, what type of photo should be the cover photo, and really kind of figuring out what I wanted my listing to look like. I'm a big believer in not reinventing the wheel, so I very literally took some of the most successful listings in the area and basically tried to replicate them. Now we then use Price Labs, which is like an Airbnb dynamic pricing tool, to not only price the Airbnb listing, but also the Vrbo, and also do Booking.com. Price Labs is a tool that came very highly recommended whenever I was doing research for the Airbnb. But it's also a tool that I do have experience with. For any of you that may recall a couple of years ago, whenever HP and I briefly helped manage an Airbnb. So this was something that I previously had experience in. Now, Price Labs recommends pricing our Airbnb anywhere between about $250 to upwards of $1,000 per night, depending on the time of year. During peak ski season, as well as like major holidays, is whenever it gets close to $1,000 per day, whereas in the off season, it can get to $250 per night or sometimes even lower. Now, Angel Fire has what is considered to be shoulder seasons, which means that in the winter, it's very busy with skiing. In the summer, it's very busy with mountain biking. But basically, in the 6 weeks of between April and May, and roughly November to December, it is extremely dead in the Angel Fire area as the ski resort's prepping to transition from skiing to biking and vice versa. And so unfortunately, from a timing perspective, we literally published this Airbnb listing one day before the shoulder season began. And so as a result of this, and just trying to get as many bookings as possible, we've actually lowered our prices quite significantly to about $150 to $200 per day, depending on the day. Now, the cool thing is that we actually did already get our first booking, which is for the last week of December. Now, for this booking, it was a little bit cheaper than it would have normally been for this exact same time of year because Airbnb encourages new hosts to give 20% discounts for their first 3 bookings, and so that's what we did. Now, in addition to Price Labs, which we're using to automate the pricing and also the calendar integration between the different booking sites, I also made a welcome guidebook, which is good for not only viewing on your computer, but also viewing on your phone. This gives the guests information about things like how to access the Wi-Fi, how to access the property, what they need to do with their trash. And because it's a clickable, mobile-friendly PDF, it sort of functions similarly to an app, which I thought was super cool, which we are able to set up directly within Airbnb as well as Vrbo. And basically, whenever a guest books the house, an automated message gets sent, which not only gives them like a greeting and a statement saying, hey, we look forward to hosting you, but it also automatically sends that guidebook as well. And then on top of that, there's also a series of follow-up messages to make sure that the guest knows that their booking is confirmed. Now, when it came to actually getting the Airbnb listing ready, we ended up hiring a photographer to actually take the photographs. I'll include some examples of the photography up here, and we found this photographer weirdly enough through Reddit. Now, as far as cleaners go, we did hire a cleaning company. This isn't like a one-off cleaner that just cleans Airbnbs or houses. It's actually a company that specializes in Airbnb homes specifically, and they are basically pros whenever it comes to renting or turning over an Airbnb house. And I think that this is kind of a good segue into why we ultimately decided to do self-management in the first place, because this is a question that I have been getting a lot since we've talked openly about the Airbnb. And while some of you guys may disagree with this decision, truthfully, the reason why I made the decision and we cumulatively made one to do the self-management is because I just think that I can do it as good as these management companies. And while many people may believe that this is naive or cocky thinking, it's just the truth. HP and I have a ton of experience with project management, and given the fact that we have 30 cars, we have experience in real estate, we've even dipped our toes into the world of Airbnb, this management aspect of the business is something that I'm just not intimidated by at all. HP and I are always on call because of our Turo fleet. We know how to communicate with guests, and I am extremely organized and very good at project management. That for me, the idea of outsourcing this out to someone for 20 to 30%, it really isn't something that I'm even willing to consider. Now, I think whenever people hear about us self-managing the property, their thought is that we have nobody in or local to Angel Fire that can help with the property, and this isn't the case. I mentioned a little bit ago that we have a cleaning company of 25 people that are helping manage the property from a cleanliness aspect. They also do light maintenance and also help us make sure that if there's any broken items, if there's anything that needs to be fixed, they'll bring it to our attention. They're kind of our eyes on the property and our boots on the ground. And whenever we bought the property, we also got in contact with a couple of handymen who can help us in the case that something does go wrong. Not only that, but HP made friends with the UPS driver. He has our number, we have his, and if there was something that came up, the UPS driver is sort of an additional set of eyes as well. And this paired with the fact that I feel confident that we have the right people in place to do the job well, and truthfully, the fact that I think HP and I can manage this house as well, if not better than a property management company, it really just makes me feel incredibly confident with the decision to just self-manage this one. Maybe in a year we'll make a follow-up saying that this is a mistake, but for the time being, this is no doubt going to be the decision moving forward. But we'll keep you guys posted on how this Airbnb shakes out, and also how our bookings progress out of the shoulder season and into ski season.
So there you guys have it. That's how we're doing our Airbnb. In other news, our Black Friday sale is now live. Check in the description below. And I gotta go finish this Ford Fiesta that is broken. Exhibit A.
Do you know what you're doing?
No idea. But as always, guys, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next episode.